Okay, this is Eddie with the Tree Peakers podcast. I've got another special guest here with me. We're going to remain anonymous, and we're just going to know that the location was in New Mexico. That is home base for me, and that is where all of this takes place, from the Navajo Nation reservation all through the Four Corners area. Okay, so now I've been shared this story before with a friend of mine that's sitting with me here, who has a story that's actually pretty interesting. Now, this comes from a family member. Were you there, or was this a family member who shared this story with you?
No, this is from my a sister.
Sister.
Yeah,
okay.
That said that talking about an uncle that he's passed on, right?
So it's an uncle who's since passed on.
Yeah.
And they used to have these revivals.
Yeah, he has these revivals
out in the middle of nowhere.
Sort of. Or it's just mainly on the San Juan River.
Oh, that's prime Bigfoot territory right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard plenty of stories along the San Juan River to the Bistai Badlands, through Fruitland, Shiprock, and all the way on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, was it something like during these revivals they were going at night?
Yeah, because during the summer they always have revivals.
Right.
So it's always told me stories about our uncle. Like I said, he's passed on, but I guess whenever there's revivals going on, there was there's a trailer and then there's a tent revival.
Okay.
Right next to it.
Right. This is a religious revival.
Yeah.
So you've got a big church setting.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, with a big
tent,
crowd
yeah,
and a
tent.
fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what, these things used to come and...
Yeah, so what she said, that I guess it always comes when the revival comes, I guess, like I said, it was always I'll say a bush or whatever right by their residence.
Yep.
And always sit at the same place.
They would come and sit and observe.
Yeah.
And watch.
Watch and
but
listen.
They would watch and listen, but they would stay off in the distance.
I guess it's kind of a little bit next door.
Was it was there a certain number of them there? Was there just one, or was there a couple of them?
I think it's according to my sister, it's always been one.
Really?
For one, our uncle.
So this was a curious one.
Yeah.
They liked to come and watch whatever you guys were, or whatever they were up to, I should say. Pardon me.
So yeah, every time.
But they knew it wasn't a person.
You know, it wasn't a person.
Right, and this thing is coming out from the darkness.
Yeah.
And there's along the San Juan River where there's, so we're not necessarily in the Rocky Mountains, but we are in plenty of open landscape, right?
Yeah.
Plenty of trees, sandstone, rock, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, because the San Juan River, it's not very far. Or maybe I should say maybe a quarter to a half a mile from the San Juan River, from their residence.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of activity along the San Juan River.
A lot of activity,
yeah.
And my sister used to always tell me the BFO, whatever.
BFRO would show up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They always in contact with him.
The Bigfoot Research Organization, if I'm not mistaken.
They used to,
right.
They used to always text him or call him.
To let him know this was going on.
Yeah, they always tell him that. They used to call him.
Right.
They let him know
to report it.
Yeah, to report it.
So that's how much they believed that they were dealing with something that was non-human.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they believed this.
Yeah.
So much so they contacted this organization. Was it you that told me that... Did they stop contacting him because he wanted... The people from the BFRO had some negative stuff they wanted to do?
Yeah. Cause
right?
I think a while back, because like I said, it's always on the deep, never the reservation that always happened.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that one night, him and his wife were, coming back, and I guess it was during the winter, and he drove, and I guess him and his wife supposedly encountered, a Bigfoot.
That's right. You told me about this. Right.
And I guess he wanted to turn around, but his wife was so,
Did it cross
scared.
The road or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I guess it was just not crossing the road, but walking on the side of the road.
Walking on the side of the road. Okay, nighttime?
Daytime? I believe so. I believe it was at nighttime.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that would be incredible to see. Now, was it something... Because I've heard a lot of it... I've heard good things and bad things about this organization, but this person they were in contact with, who we have no clue who it was or whatever. We don't need to bring names anywhere near this. But anywho, he wanted to like bring a team down and try to. Am I right? He wanted to like come and capture it or do something.
No.
Actually,
I guess what that organization wanted my uncle to do was kill it.
Kill it. There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it because I wasn't sure if I was remembering that right, and that's when they stopped contacting him. Right?
Yeah, that's my uncle goes, why would I kill it?
Right.
He goes, he kept in contact thinking maybe like, just wanted to be aware of it, but he goes, why would I kill it?
But really, see, and I've heard this through some of the better people that I'm familiar with in this subject, like Steve at thefactsbyhowtohunt.com, and I've even heard some negative stuff from like the people on Sasquatch Chronicles where they say, oh, we need to kill one so we can have proof of it. But in my opinion, stories such as what you're sharing with me and things that I've heard from over a dozen, maybe even close to 24 people from the Navajo reservation, beautiful stories of these animals, these creatures, these prehistoric human beings that have been here longer than us, maybe ancestors of us. I don't exactly know what they are, but there's no reason we need to hurt them.
Yeah.
Because even my story that I will share on this very podcast that I've started here in a couple episodes from now, probably once I talk to a few people to get established, so that's what I'm doing with you now. What happened to me in the Bistai Badlands, they had me surrounded. North, south, east, west. I was surrounded by them. My car broke down on a hike that I went out there with some friends way back when. I think I've shared this story with you. They were growling. They were intimidating us, but they didn't hurt us. They had us for the taking, right? So why in the world would we hurt them,
Yeah.
I think it's super foolish, and it's even just totally ignorant to think that you need to bag one like it's an animal, like, so you can have its head on a trophy or something like we do with elk and deer and all that kind of stuff, just to prove their existence. I think their existence has been more than proven with stories such as you're telling me now, footprints, evidence, people hearing the howling, the screaming. Now, moving on to that, don't you have a story that you shared with me about, was it Grandma's house or was it like an auntie's house where they heard the howling and then like the garden was raided or something in the following morning? There was footprints and all kinds of stuff?
Yeah, well, actually, they don't know, like a couple stories, not, always on the farm, like it's always connected. Yeah, okay. It's always connected by the San Juan River.
Okay, yeah. How far are we from the San Juan River with this farm that we're talking about, the family farm here?
I think it's not very far.
Less than a mile? About a mile?
Less than a mile.
Less than a mile. So here we go again along the San Juan River. People familiar with our area will know exactly what we're talking about. People that hear this across the country or around the world, they probably don't know exactly what we're talking about, but that's fine because this is our home and our neck of the woods. But we're in New Mexico. The San Juan River is a hotbed, from what I've come to learn, for this activity, right? And these kind of sightings and stuff happening. Yeah. But tell me about, were they watching a movie or something and they heard the howling, or what was going on that night?
No, because it's like like I said, I always hear stories like right always at the San Juan River.
Yeah.
Because like on the reservation there's like farming. So
a lot of farming.
I always heard stories like they'll leave like whatever harvest, they'll leave it for them.
I've heard this too.
Yeah,
right.
Even livestock. They always
really?
They always hear stories like livestock are missing.
Right, I've heard this too. Horses, cows.
Yeah.
I've heard
even sheep.
Right, I've heard about horses being found with their necks turned around.
Yeah.
Or you got to be pretty strong to break the neck of a horse and turn its head all the way around, right? I've heard this though, that they'll leave their yield, some of their yield, their corn, because they consider. I've even heard them referred to by the Navajo people who have shared stories with me as the ancient ones. They call them. They've referred to them to me as the Anasazi, the ancient ones, like the ancient people that have been here longer than we have, right?
And there's other stories like supposedly, it's extraterrestrial, aliens too.
I've come across plenty of this stuff. They'll you'll see like the balls of light if they're
Yeah.
around, or you'll see the orbs in the sky or lights in the sky, and then they show up. Yeah, this subject goes down the rabbit hole. Let's put it that way. But that one story, I don't have a lot of time left on my phone because my battery's going to die. But what was the story really fast about them hearing the howling and then it raided the garden or something? Remember that?
Oh, well, like I said, they'll leave what, it's like vegetables or whatever.
Right.
Or they'll see like I said, they'll do whatever's harvest. It's like they'll see like
They'll find the footprints
Yeah.
around the garden and stuff.
Exactly.
And didn't somebody get scared from like a howling and stuff, and the next morning they found footprints around the garden?
Yeah.
Do you remember that story you told me?
Yeah. Yeah, there's the multiple stories about that.
Right.
And also, I had I think of like one of my cousins who, like he was building a house next to where the Sound River.
Okay.
And I guess he, just in case, someone would come around, he actually had like a tent. And then here's like howling and stuff.
The howling, yeah.
And he kind of like creeped up. I don't know. He just looked up, the tent.
I opened the tent up
He
a little
opened
bit.
it and he saw it. I think it scared him so much.
I've heard this. Yeah,
Yeah.
people, either you have like the experience of a lifetime that like excites you, or it terrifies you.
Yeah.
It's like one or the other.
Yeah.
A lot of times there's really no in between. Kind of like you telling me when they saw him walking down the road, one person wanted to turn around, the other person was like, hell no, don't turn around, because they
Yeah.
were scared, right?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't want my phone to die out, so I want this to end in a good way. But thanks for sharing your story with me. Thanks for your time. And hopefully when I have more battery power, we can sit and you can share some more stories that that you've got friends or family that have told you before. Okay?
Oh, well.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.